When you hear the name Dartmouth, what comes to mind?
It could be a few things, actually. The academic prestige, the beautiful campus, or a bunch of nerdy-looking kids who realistically have a shot at winning a Nobel Prize.
If your answer was the men's basketball team, odds are you're probably not going to Dartmouth.
However, that Dartmouth men's basketball team, who finished their season with a staggering 6-21 record, impressively placing last in the Ivy League, has been making quite a splash in the news lately.
Recently, the men's basketball team has become the first team that has successfully voted to unionize and has been recognized by the regional NLRB. This follows an unsuccessful attempt by the Northwestern football team way back in 2015.
This is actually quite a big deal. The NCAA's strict amateurism policies, which have been hanging on by a thread for quite some time now, have prevented any movements for compensation or players' recognition as employees.
It seems like quite the underdog story, right? A behemoth money-making employer taking advantage of their workers finally being challenged? Well, it's not really true.
Let's think about why Dartmouth. They don't just blow at basketball. They, quite frankly, blow at every sport. Except for chess, maybe.
So guess what? Students couldn't care less about the sports there.
The school doesn't even make any money on sports. They lose a substantial amount every year paying for facilities, trainers, equipment, and more.
And they certainly aren't going to make that money back from the 13 grandparents and maybe handful of girlfriends in the stands at every game.
But the real question is, are these kids really employees?
The reality is that they're not really employees. Scholarships don't count as compensation, and they're not being taken advantage of in this case.
We're here to tell you that this isn't some David versus Goliath revolution moment.
Let's get real. These kids go to Dartmouth. They're there to work with particle accelerators, not play basketball.
I guess what we're getting at here is that these kids are students, not employees. And why do kids go to college anyways?
That's right. Academics.
Listen to the Dartmouth's official statement.
The students on the men's basketball team are not in any way employed by Dartmouth. For Ivy League students who are varsity athletes, academics are of primary importance, and athletic pursuit is part of the educational experience. Classifying these students as employees simply because they play basketball is as unprecedented as it is inaccurate. We, therefore, do not believe unionization is appropriate.
The school has recently filed a request for review of the regional NLRB's decision, which means the national NLRB is going to take another look.
This, ultimately, will determine whether these players will be recognized as employees.
So buckle up, because this is about to be quite the wild ride.
And remember, they're students, just like us. They're at college to study.
Each and every student athlete in the NCAA and potentially be one of the reasons why the whole thing falls apart.
This is history in motion, ladies and gents. Blink and you'll miss it.